Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast. It has been a minute.
What's up, guys?
Man, but you know what I felt like when we came together this morning to get ready for the podcast? Felt like a good Sunday to transition into to do it, because I know it was such a long weekend for both of us. Mm-hmm. At least I had a long ass weekend, and for it to come down to Sunday afternoon, end of a long weekend, a good weekend too. Yeah. It felt right.
Absolutely, but it was actually nice yesterday. Nice day getting together with the boys. Went to a cigar lounge down in Bellflower called Bo's Cigars. Shout out to Bo's Cigars. Had a great time over there. Had some beers and a big leather couch to sit on, and some nice cigars that you buy right there out of their nice big humidifier. And,
yeah, I
awesome.
remember the difference between going to a cigar lounge now and going to a cigar lounge back in the day was we would spend more time in that the humidifier, the room with all the cigars. We would spend more of our time in there picking out a cigar than we would, out watching the TVs or just, kicking it and having a brew and talking with the guys. And that's because we didn't know anything about them. We didn't know what was good, what's a Padron, what's a Davidoff mean, what is all that kind of stuff. And then after a while, they kind of show you the ropes. So, yeah, you're going to want to get something like this or, try this one. And you kind of learn what you like over time. So now it was we just went in there. We already knew what kind of cigars we would want.
Yeah.
And the first time I stepped foot into a cigar lounge, I was 18.
Yeah.
And we used to go to one off of 2nd Street in Long Beach. And it was called Anto Cigar Lounge. And it's probably still there, but
I think it is.
Yeah, we would go down there, and I know we had some friends, and they were under 18, and they had God knows what ID, or they forgot their ID that day or something like that. But we would go in there, and they would treat you like you were, you're a 50-year-old man. Like, hello, sir, how are you? And we felt good. We were like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You had a bowler hat or whatever. That's right. You talk to us like that because we're full grown, old men now. We're gonna have cigars and talk about sports and politics.
Spend $7 here.
Yeah, then they're looking at you like, so yeah, they're treating you all respectful. Like, yeah, so what can we get for what can I do for a quick 10 or something like that? And then like, oh,
I got $1.78 in my pocket. What can you do with that, bud?
The owners are having a hard time just keeping their face straight. They're just like, oh yes, and they all sound like that. Oh yes, it sounds like their voices. Their voices just shot from just years and years of secondhand smoke and just straight smoking those cigars.
Cut to 10 years later, they have a hole in their throat.
Yeah, their own stock. But and another difference is that I saw that when I used to go to cigar lounges when we were 10 years ago when I was 18 years old. You go in there and you get a lot of these fat guys that are just kind of sitting on the couch and they're looking all up at the same TV. All their heads are arched, and then maybe every 5 minutes, maybe every 10 minutes, you get the one guy makes a comment, and they all start talking about that what he just said. Like, oh yeah, and then it just goes dead silent again for another half an hour until somebody says something, and then and it's just what's on TV right there.
Yeah.
Or,
talking about a soccer player,
just some bullshit. And so yesterday, I don't even think we looked at the TVs once. We were just all so happy to see each other because our man nights used to be once a month.
Yeah.
And now we're pulling teeth to get them every 2 months, once every 3 months.
Yeah, and sometimes not even all the guys can even show up, which is. It sucks, but I mean, we all have separate lives.
It's usually the same guys that don't show up, They kind of make every 3, or they've got a job interview, or they've got something like that.
John.
Yeah, that was fun though. I had a blast.
That was fun.
And then I ended up at some place out. It was like the house or the Pack House or something like that out in Anaheim, and it was like this. It was like going into like a Ralph's almost or a 2-story Sprouts or something like that. But then there's all these little tiny mini bars all over the inside, and then they got it was almost kind of like a fair environment.
Was it?
It was in Anaheim.
It
was it was near Disneyland and all that.
Okay.
And it was kind of like
an inside, it
was an indoor,
an indoor mall, but for bars.
Yeah, it was like nothing I'd seen. And I wish I could remember the name of it. I think it was maybe the Packing House.
The Packing District.
I can't remember.
I'll look it up.
We'll look it up. We'll put a link in the bottom. But actually, before we went there, we went from Bo's to a place called Johnny Reb's.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that we went there for the food because now we're hungry.
Totally.
We're going to go get some steaks or we're going to get a burger or whatever. We all went over to Johnny Reb's.
What did you get?
I got tri-tip.
Tri-tip?
Yeah, and it came with some mashed potatoes. So it was pretty top notch. I was already full at that point, but I was still thirsty. So while everyone else bailed, it was Johnny's birthday. You know, we went out to the packing house out in Anaheim after that. And then, so instead of podcasting last night like we were supposed to, you sent me a text because you were working over at the... You want to tell them where you're working now or what?
Yeah. I picked up a side gig with the Irvine Improv. I was going to mention that later, but just working a couple hours a week. Just kind of wanted to get, I don't know, surround myself with that, you know, that community and those people.
Right, yeah, and anytime you want to do something, you know, you're going to surround yourself with the people that are likely going to influence that or push that on you.
Definitely.
You're gonna make a little... It's not even that far for you, is it? It's like,
no.
what, 10, 20 minutes drive tops?
Yeah,
and we went down there a couple months ago. We actually saw a few stand-up comics down there, so you kind of already knew the area and everything. Yeah. But that's cool, dude. Congratulations again, and you're gonna end up one of these days you're gonna have your photo up with like Sinbad or something like that coming up soon. Yeah. Have you announced it yet, like socially on a social network or anything?
No, not at all. So I'm still working my sales job, and then sometimes like on the weekends or like on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday night when they're busy, they need the help. I'll go in, work box office, hosting, just so I can, it's the pay is crap, but that's where I want to be ultimately. I want to get into stand-up comedy and in that world. So it's like,
I don't even like
the best thing you can do is surround yourself with that.
Yeah, that's the pay right there.
Yeah,
and that's actually great pay as far as the monetary value of what do they give you hourly? The way I saw it when you told me, you're like, this is something I'm doing on weekends. This isn't my Monday through Friday. I have a Monday through Friday. This is extra.
Right.
So that's just icing on the cake, dude.
Yeah.
And now also you're surrounding yourself and keeping yourself involved with comedy and everything like that. That's rock and roll, man. And you're gonna end up meeting a lot of people down there.
That's mainly what I took the job for, so I could bump into artists or comedians, so I can get the knowledge of how the club works on the back end, because I have club promoting experience, and I did that for God knows 10 years or so. So it's like the club kind of runs the same way. It's kind of like a restaurant / bar. They want to fill those seats so they can get bar sales, etc. So I kind of have the background knowledge of that. But it's really just surrounding myself, and if I can get 5 minutes with one of my idols, that'd be just amazing.
So what are the biggest differences I think that stand out to you? I mean, what stands out to me is that the hours, like you're working over there like 5 to 10, and that might be like the hours of like a comedy show, whereas when you were working at clubs, you were there till 2 a.m, obviously.
Yeah, so like the nightclubs, I would show up around 8 or 9 o'clock and would be just, if I wanted to, I could probably dip out at midnight, but I would usually stay until like 1 and get home around 2 or 3, depending if I was driving or Ubering back or whatever. But yeah, man, then the next day I wouldn't get up till 2 p.m. again. It was just a vicious cycle. This place, if I was working during the week, then their box office opens at like noon. You can work those hours, but I'm gonna be doing like more weekend stuff when they're busy, like probably like 5 or 6 o'clock p.m. to 10 o'clock. To 10:30 at the very latest. So
yeah, dude, I think that today I woke up at like 2. It was just such a long, great weekend, and but with all the good comes the bad. Though I think that the world has a way of kind of balancing these things out. Of course, I wake up and I go on my phone and I see that Bill Paxton passed away. If you don't know Bill Paxton, he was the guy in Alien. He's like, come on, man, and he was in, of course, Twister. He was like the main guy. It's Dorothy. And,
rest in peace, brother.
Yeah, man, Bill Paxton, that's a bummer. He was never like the lead guy. He was always kind of like, aside of, I think, Twister, but he was always kind of like the sidekick. And I know he was in a lot of James Cameron movies, so he would always make appearances. And everyone's like, oh yeah, Bill Paxton, he's a horrible actor. But he was even in like the opening scene in Terminator. Yeah. When Arnold comes out and he doesn't have any clothes and he's like, give me your clothes. And he's just one of those punk guys out by the... He's in the telephone booth. Yeah. They're just hanging out right there, or like over by the beach. Yeah. And he's like, give me your clothes, and they're like, nice night for a walk, huh? And he repeats it, nice night for a walk, and then he just kills him.
That was him.
Yeah. That awesome. was Bill Paxton, dude.
Yeah. Bill Paxton's net worth was $30 million, man. He was living good.
Yeah, dude. I wonder who that's going to. James Cameron. No, it's gonna go towards that's like two effects in one of James Cameron's movies.
Right.
James Cameron only makes. I watched his. I watched Avatar the other day.
It's a great movie. I watched it the other day too.
It is. It's cool. You know, it's kind of it was like cutting edge at the time when it came out. You know, I guess they were using like new camera techniques and new
4K or whatever.
Something like that. And I know James Cameron was all about it. And now he makes a movie like every 50 years or like maybe like every like 5-10 years.
Then it just makes like $20 billion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he got so into Avatar that he's.
That took him like 10 years to write.
They've got through Avatar, I think 5 or Avatar 7 planned out now.
No way.
Yeah. So.
Shit.
Yeah. So those guys that are playing in Avatar, they'll do interviews and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna be playing like some like blue like creature for like the next 20 years or something like that.
Wow.
Until James.
What's the main actor in his name?
Is it Sam Worthington? I think it's Sam Worthington, and then there's the chick from Westworld is in it, and
they're both solid actors.
I don't think Bill Paxton was in that. I think that was like the first. James Cameron movie that he didn't include him in, but he was in all the other ones like Aliens and the Terminator.
Sam Worthington.
It was Sam Worthington.
Yeah.
So he like falls in love with
Zoe
Saldana. Yeah, dude.
She's hot.
She is, dude. I have like the huge. I was like, man, I got the hugest crush on her. I wonder if that's still gonna be the same when they're doing Avatar 7 or what she's gonna even look like. But they're gonna have her disguised. She can play that character until Kingdom Come, dude, because she's just a computer animated, being.
Yeah.
So you can't even tell.
Stephen Lang, dude, the Colonel.
Yeah, that guy
he just looks military.
He's like our friend Jack Heisman, dude. He's like, we're gonna kill them all,
little flat top.
Yeah, he's got that flat top, and he's inside of like he's inside of like this robot.
He's like skinny buff.
Yeah, he's in like that robot thing, and he's just like punching the avatars and like killing everybody. Yeah, that guy was a badass, and you kind of don't know who to root for. You're like, look, this guy is like. They're trying to mine for whatever, special minerals are on this land. And then you got these poor bastards that are living there, like trying to suck the energy out of the tree and saying that, this is the hope tree or whatever it's called. It's a mama willow.
It's not connected.
Yeah, it's not connected. We know it's worth more to us.
Shut up. Burn the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking white people, man.
It actually, and watching that movie actually reminded me a lot of a cartoon movie that we watched when we were kids, which was...
Which one?
Fern Gully, I think.
Fern Gully?
Yeah. Like in Fern Gully, they're like the little pixies.
For sure, yeah. I
remember. There's like that one tree, like the humans are Xing the tree.
Yeah, and they're trying to chop all the trees down in the rainforest.
And they got that big machine, and it's like going through and chopping them down. Yeah. And it's got like that black smoke, dude.
Yeah.
That like it's like the evil in man, I think that it represents. And I was like, dude, this is kind of like a lot like Fern Gully. And I haven't watched that movie since I was like 5 or 10, maybe.
I know. It's been a long time.
Maybe that's where he got the idea, dude. James Cameron, you never know. But all of his stuff is most of the time it's based on something else. It's like, oh yeah, I wonder where did he get the story for Titanic, or whatever like that.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is based, or Aliens. Some of the stuff he makes up, but he's always been better, I think, at making sequels than actually making he didn't direct Aliens 1, but he did Aliens 2.
Yeah.
But the Terminator, that's his baby right there. Mm-hmm. So he can kind of take that one to. He can take that one to his grave. That's going to be on his grave. He'll say like the Terminator 1 through 3 or something like that.
This is me. This is all my money.
Put that cookie down right now.
Don't be such a pansy.
He should do a comedy and see how that works out for him.
Yeah, I know, man. But he just has that artist mentality,
Even Arnold tried doing comedy though. Like he did Jingle All the Way, and he did
true.
Twins, and he did Junior, True Lies, and he's definitely done his share of comedy. Is he great at it? I think he is. I think Arnold's actually a pretty funny guy, but seeing him lately,
Jingle All the Way was like
that was his shining.
That's one of my childhood favorites, and yours.
Yeah, that's one of his shining moments. But I definitely like Arnold more for his serious roles and as an action star.
Yeah.
Even watching him on the new Celebrity Apprentice where he's now hosting, it was kind of like it just seemed like a weird fit for him. He's like, I don't know if you were representing the company in the best interest, and you can just tell he's just not taking it that serious. He's like, you're fired. Now get to the chopper. And it's just a cutscene. Yeah, it's just like a cutscene of some people running out. Like literally, they make them like run outside and like get into a chopper. And he'll be like, "Oh, you're terminated instead of you're fired" and stuff like that. So
you know, it's funny.
He got hired more, I think, for just like his catchphrases than anything else.
When I got we were in Boy Scouts when we were younger, and I got Eagle Scout. When you get Eagle Scout, you get awarded by everybody from the city to government to all the way up to the president, and he was the governor at the time. Yeah. So I got the congratulations, Arnold Schwarzenegger. So that's gotta be worth something, right?
Yeah, sign Turbo Man.
Signs, you're American hero. That's not American, but I am, but I'm not.
And then it's just he includes like a signed photograph of himself in there. And
congratulations, this paper's gonna explode in 2 minutes.
Yeah, you got the detonation, and then they put the Californias, and then they put the cookies and all this.
He's a choir boy.
But Arnold's the freaking champ, dude. You can't beat Arnold Schwarzenegger. All those dudes are out there. Like, oh, Stallone this. It's like, give me a break.
He's still out there crushing, dude.
Who's Stallone?
Yeah.
Stallone is out there.
Stallone. Arnold.
Yeah. Arnold is still out there.
Super active on social media.
He is, but he's not trying to, I think, push the bill like you would with you look at what Stallone's doing, and he'll remake like a franchise movie that was big in the 80s. Mm-hmm. So he's like, oh, I'm gonna do another Rambo, I'm gonna do another Rocky, you know, and it's just like, dude,
Rocky's done so many. Yeah. Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4,
7, 8, 9, 10.
They got all the way up to Creed.
They're gonna pass up the number of sequels then for Land Before Time, because how many of those are there?
There's like 14 or something.
It was more than that, dude. That was like they had 14 done like that first year, but I think they had, they might be in the 20s at this point.
The first one was always the best, man.
I think the first one's the only one that I saw. I think I saw that one. And then there was like one other one where like
we had it on VHS when we were little. We only had a couple of movies that we interchanged.
Yeah, we had like 5 movies. We had Land Before Time.
1988, that movie was made.
Really? This is the year I was born. Dang, that's a while ago, man. Yeah, Petrie, Sarah, that Sarah, the little bitchy one.
Yeah.
She's all mean to the little Triceratops, or to what's Littlefoot? It's Littlefoot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, remember the tree star? I gotta find my tree star.
Ducky.
Yeah.
Littlefoot.
That was a Steven Spielberg movie.
Petrie, the little bird.
Yeah, dude, that was a Steven Spielberg movie.
Was it?
Yeah. So it was sometime probably after like he did Goonies, or sometime after like those Raiders of the Lost Arks, and he just kind of started kicking it. He's like, I want to do a kids movie. I want to do The Land Before Time. And then somebody else just took that idea and just spun it into like 20 sequels.
Yeah, they made a bunch.
I think they made too many.
I'm sorry, I'm researching on seeing how many there are right now. 15, bro. They made 15 movies.
Yeah, they're all good.
They're
movies.
just a dinosaur walking around and shit, just looking for his mom. Have you seen my mom? She died.
But you know what? That movie had like one of the most all-time evil villains, that Sharptooth.
Yes.
When he came on, that it was like a T-Rex or something like that. I haven't seen something that scary since like the next time was like Jurassic Park. So Steven Spielberg has
Jurassic Park.
So Steven Spielberg has something about T-Rexes being the bad guy. Speaking of Jurassic Park, your neighbor upstairs, I hear, is leaving town finally, or we should say
thank God,
she's migrating to another herd.
Dude, freaking DJ Brick Footsteps over here.
Cement shoes.
Cement shoes. So, yeah. Old tree trunk legs. Okay, so they're a fat family. I'm sorry, they're morbidly obese.
We've talked about them before, too, on the podcast.
And then, like, they have a little kid, but they have these 2 huge dogs that don't belong in there. Mm-hmm. And what I think is going on is, because I hear, it sounds like a bowling alley in my room. Excuse me. So I think it's the dogs running from like the living room to like the bedroom, and then jumping on the bed, and then they jump off, and they're like 90 pounds. Uh-huh. So when they jump off, it's like doof, and it echoes into my apartment. Mm-hmm. And they do that all day because they don't let them on the patio because they bark so much. So I sent in another complaint, my 3rd complaint,
Yeah.
And I went in to get my rent the other day, and he's like, "Oh, thanks, man." I was just chatting it up, and he's like, "How's everything?" I was like, "Oh, good, except for our neighbor upstairs, man. They're so loud." And he's just like, "Oh, yeah, well, they're moving out pretty soon." And I was like, "When?" And he was like, "I don't have an exact date, but they're moving out soon." I was like, "Thank God."
Yeah, that was one of the beautiful things about when we've been recording at my house, because my apartment is upstairs, so we don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. But so today we're recording in Huntington Beach over at Tommy's place, and I had planned we could still probably do it, but I had plans to have Tommy eat a food live on air. So it was gonna be like, I don't know how many dive bars you guys have been to, but every time I go to a dive bar, there's always pickled eggs. So there's this one bar that I went to in Long Beach, and it was a few years ago. I was with our buddy Joseph, and so we're just sitting there shooting pool, and we grab a brew, and he goes, "Hey, have you ever had a pickled egg?" And you see like this bulbous like green jar full of like these eggs just kind of floating around. Like every once in a while, that little bubble comes to the top of it, bloop. You're like, "Oh, that looks disgusting." There could be like an eyeball in there or something like that. And I'm like, "Nah, I'm good. I don't want a pickled egg." He's like, No. You got to try a pickled egg. And I remembered I got it. They put it there, you give you like one of those little Dixie cups. They put some of those pretzels, the stick pretzels in there. They give you.
Do they stick them inside of the egg?
No. They just lay the egg like right on top of the pretzels, and then they put some of those like those yellow peppers, in there with it. So
those banana peppers.
Yeah, you bite into it, you eat the pepper, and then you have the salty. So
you get the salty egg.
Yeah.
The kind of sweet pepper.
Yeah, it's like a mix, and it's kind of hot, and it's dude, I ate it and I liked it. I was like, dude, I'm not supposed to like this, but it was really good. And I guess I looked at it later on online. I guess this place was like super famous, like for their pickled eggs and everything like that. Yeah. And so usually you don't ever hear someone say, "Man, I'm having a craving. I'm craving a pickled egg." Yeah. And it's not something I think that you craved often, But the other day I was coming home from work, and I said, "Yeah, it sounds good right now, a pickled egg." But of course, I don't know where you even buy a pickled egg. I think the week after that, I was shopping at Ralph's. I looked to see if they had them. They didn't have them. I start looking online. I'm like, "There's nowhere you can buy these things."
Yeah.
And so I looked up Joe Joe's to see if this dive bar was still open, because I knew that they sold them there. They were famous for it. They would sell them by the jar. And so Joe Joe's out in Long Beach. So last week, I go down there. I buy like a dozen pickled eggs. They come in a jar with all the little peppers in there and everything like that, and you can eat them. I'm like, I'm going to make Tommy eat one of these things while we're live on the air and see what you think about it. But if you have never had a pickled egg, I do recommend that you try it.
I've never even had one.
It sounds and it looks pretty disgusting, but the day that I went and bought the jar, I ate like two or three of them. And then I think that night I ate just a bunch of other garbage. And this was last Sunday, to be exact. And the next morning, I feel fine. I'm getting ready to go to work just like I normally do. And it was just, Mondays aren't known for having good traffic. So I get on the 5, and I have to go to the 10 to get to work because I'm working out in Santa Monica. Coming from Downey, you have to get up early to get there on time to cut out some of that drive time. And I'm like on the change from the 5 to the 10. I start getting that little gurgle, dude, in my stomach, just like,
boo.
And I'm like,
was this from the pickled egg?
I don't know what it was from. I don't know what I can't pinpoint anything.
It was like,
and I've had it. I've had the pickled egg since, and it hasn't had that effect. But I start getting that feeling,
You're in traffic.
I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in heavy traffic, and I'm like in the far left lane. So
you're starting to sweat.
I'm starting to sweat, and I'm starting to like push like my bottom up a little bit, trying to like release some of the pressure between like my ass and the seat. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'm gonna merge over. I don't even care if I'm late to work. I just gotta get off the freeway. I gotta find a bathroom right now.
The turtle was sticking his head up the shower.
Yeah, I was like ready to drop some Cosby's off in the pool. It was bad, man. I had to go to the bathroom. So I finally
This is so funny.
I know.
This happened to me 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I get on the 10. I get on the 10, and now I gotta merge all the way to the right. Get off of an off ramp.
Yeah.
I get off the freeway, and now it's like I gotta turn left, and I see a Jack in the Box. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna peel left, and then I'm gonna turn right. And I'm like fighting cars the whole way. It takes like 10 minutes from the time that I actually had this gurgle until I get to this Jack in the Box, from what felt like an eternity.
Oh yeah.
I get in there. Of course, it's one of those things you gotta ask for the key. Blah blah blah. I get out of the bathroom. I feel great. I'm just like, I feel like, you know what? I'm gonna actually grab some Jack in the Box. Now I'm gonna go to work. So I get like a little combo from Jack in the Box, and at this point I'm about halfway to work. So I got breakfast. I got a coffee. It's gonna be great. I get the breakfast. I get in the car. Start eating breakfast. I actually finished the whole meal, and then now I'm about 3/4 there, and I start getting that gurgle again. And I'm like, oh, but now it's 10 times worse.
Because you ate Jack in the Box,
yeah,
bro.
and now I'm thinking like, what is going on, dude? I gotta go to the bathroom again, and it's worse now. And it's like I feel like my forehead is just like it's starting to get the beads of sweat, like just really building up, and it's just so uncomfortable. It's strange because
it's like getting the meat sweats.
Yeah, I remember thinking like I don't care if I'm late, or I don't care what when you're in this kind of pain,
you don't give a shit.
You don't care what happens in your life. As long as you just get to a bathroom.
Absolutely.
You're just like, I don't care what anyone says. I just have to get to a bathroom right now. So
I'll kill somebody.
I'll kill you. I mean, dude, I was like ready to scrape my car against somebody else's. Like, get out of the way. I'm going to get off the freeway now. I get off the freeway, and I'm looking for a Jack in the Box. I'm looking for a Starbucks. I'm looking for something. I don't see anything.
Of course not.
Yeah, in this one spot, except for this one little corner with a laundromat and a thrift store. And I get off right there.
I went to the thrift store.
I went first to the laundromat because I know they got the bathrooms in there, you know, if you're doing laundry or whatever. They had 2 of them. They both took quarters. So, of course, at a laundromat, there's quarter machines. I get the dollar, I put it in there, and it shoots me.
We're going to get your money.
Shoots me out 4 quarters. I go over to the bathrooms. Both of the little quarter slots are plugged. Like, you couldn't, like with gum, or like some kid just shoved, like, you know, like a piece of fruit roll up in there, and they were both gummed up and not open. And I'm looking around, you know, there's nobody working there at this point.
You probably keep it locked so nobody goes in there.
Yeah, they were locked, and there was just no way I was getting in. There was like some industrial-sized door. I was just like, okay, I got to go next door to the thrift store. So I go there, and like, thankfully they're open, and it's like early in the morning. And I've never seen a more overstaffed thrift store in my life. There was just way too many people working at like 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
There was at least 5 people just in the front. Somebody working at the cash register, and then the worst part was like the stock room where you get people dropping stuff off, and there was 10 old ladies back there, man. I kid you not. They were folding shirts and like opening boxes. I'm like, how many people work at the thrift store? How are you guys making any kind of you know, a profit or anything like that? How are you guys staying in operation? And so this is where their bathroom supposedly was at, and the people in the front, they pointed me to go back there. Like, oh yeah, if you got to use the restroom, go back there. So I go back there, and they're
you
like,
full 5 shirts before you took a piss.
They're like, somebody's in there. Somebody's in the bathroom right now. And so I'm sitting there, I'm like tapping my toe, and you know, these are people wearing like Power Ranger shirts from 1995. Yeah. You know, people working at the thrift store. You know, it's a colorful environment, and you don't even know what's gonna happen. So I'm waiting for this bathroom to open, and of course it opens up, and it's another like old white lady. She comes out, and the bathroom just smells like you know, the freaking middle of the rainforest. I don't know. It just smelled horrible.
Yeah, she had a litter diaper off in there.
Dude, she did, man. And it stunk so bad. And I went in there, and I went to the bathroom, and I got out of there, and I was so happy to have actually found a place that let me go to the bathroom, like a thrift store. I didn't care at that point. I just had to go.
So this was just 2 happy dumps in one day.
It was 2. And, you know, but, you know, there's nothing like taking a dump, but in 3s.
Yeah.
And so when I get off the freeway to go into my work, I'm thinking, you know, in our administrative office, we have 1 bathroom. And there's another one downstairs. But every time, there's like 1 girl known to always be in the bathroom. And I'm not going to drop her name, but she's just always in the bathroom. And I'm like, I'm not going to chance going to work, and blah, blah, blah is going to be in that bathroom, and I'm going to be pounding like, open the door, hurry up, you know? So we're near a park, and I know that those public restrooms, man, you know, there's no door on there. There's probably no roof, you know, it's just going to be nice and airy, you know, and it's going to be early in the morning, and, you know, there might be like 1 homeless guy in there just kicking it.
Just at least 1.
I'm like, I'll go in there. I don't care. I'll go in there and take a dump inside of a public restroom. So I run over to that park. I find the men's restroom. I go in there, sit down in the pot. And at this point, it's like I was supposed to be at work like a half an hour ago, but because of, you know, the pickled eggs or whatever it was, Jack in the Box, I was on the pot 3 times that morning before I even got to work. And by the time I actually got to work, I felt like just so like I felt like I was just, it'd been an entire day.
Yeah.
Like with all those events and stops and stuff like that, I felt like I had just been through the works that entire day.
It was a shit mission.
Yeah, it was a shit show is what it was. And then so I told the story to some of my coworkers, you know, and they're like, oh yeah, I hate when that happens, you know. They're like trying to relate, and I'm like, yeah. But yeah,
it's shitty.
yeah, it is. But so I don't know what it was, but I'm still gonna make you try the pickled eggs. And I don't even know if that's what I want to see you
destroy my day.
Yeah, I'll wait until the end of the podcast, until you're about to go back to your house, and then so you destroy your own bathroom.
Like, so I stopped off at AM PM. I stopped off at a laundromat and 6 more places.
The worst was the thrift store. I mean, the park was fine. Technically, the park's bathroom was dirtier, and it was dirty, man. And the thing about it was, there was 3 layers of toilet paper already on the seat. Like, somebody was trying to be generous.
Oh.
Somebody was either
It's like warmed it up for you, dude.
Yeah, somebody either went to the restroom already, and then was courteous enough to lay more toilet paper out for the next person, or they went to the restroom, got up, and when they flushed, it just didn't suck it down. You know?
That's what.
And they didn't kick it into the toilet with your foot, because you're never gonna actually grab it with your hands. You're just gonna kick it in there with your foot.
3 layers too, dude.
3 layers at least.
They just didn't want those scratched gang marks going into their ass, getting imprinted.
I don't know, man, but it was stuck to the seat because somebody.
Sitting on a toilet.
Somebody had actually peed
14 straight.
Somebody peed onto the toilet paper, so it was like stuck onto the seat.
So you just pissed on it,
and you can see the graffiti through the urine, through the toilet paper, and on the seat. You can see like the little.
So if you like sat down on it, like you get like
think
a little
about
tattoo.
think about the losers, man, that go into public restrooms and get out their little pocket knife that they probably stole, and put their little marks into those toilet seats. Like, think about what it takes for you to get to that point in life.
That's my 13th Street.
Hey,
I want people's ass to sit on it.
Hey,
that doesn't make sense.
That's little homie, man. That was his initiation.
That's little brownie.
Yeah. He had to scratch up 5 public restrooms, and he did it. Little spider.
The fool has to he had to make the checks. Get the check off the list, fool.
Except I don't know.
6 parks.
Yeah. Except I don't know if the
maybe a couple other public places.
What are the gangs in Santa Monica, though? They're not. You know, it's like, I don't know. It's Santa Monica is kind of a melting pot, to be fair, and it's going to be like Malibu's Most Wanted, where if they think they're a gang member in Santa Monica, it's just like, yeah, you're real hardcore.
They're like the gluten-free homeboys.
I'm out here in Santa Monica. I got it hard.
Yeah. What's up?
What's up?
Y'all going to the show this weekend?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get myself a massage. It's real hard up here.
It's real hard up in here.
Then I'm gonna go to Then I'm gonna go to the 3rd Street Promenade in the Arts District.
I'm gonna see me a movie, have me a nice meal.
Ain't no meatloaf between these.
That girl has like 3 million followers right now.
Who?
The girl that said, "Cash me outside." How about that?
Cash me outside. How about that?
What she meant to say was, "Catch her outside." How about that?
Yeah. That's all it takes to get you famous now. You got to say something stupid like that on TV.
On TV, man.
Or have a video go viral on YouTube, you know, whether it be a cat video or it be you pushing some fat guy into a pond or something like that.
And that's why we're here, ladies and gentlemen. We're here talking shit into this mic, and hopefully
maybe I could tell you about more of my pickled egg stories and diarrhea on the way to work.
Somebody's going to make a meme out of it.
Jack in the Box, yeah. Yeah, their stock prices are going to go up. It's going to be great.
It's like one of those little shit memes in your phone.
Yeah,
it's just gonna have your face on it.
That little black kid where he's like doing like the surfer arms and he's like, "What's up?" Yeah, I don't know. We were talking about that meme yesterday.
It's a little African kid that's dancing in his village, just like he's like shuffling.
Who took that photo and then who posted it and like created a meme out of it? You never
I don't know, man. But there was like 100 different kinds of like memes off that one little guy just dancing.
I like the old ones, the old memes where it's what was it? Bad Luck Brian. It's just a white kid in like a checkered collared shirt, and then it says like falls in love with a girl, gets AIDS or something like that, you know, or just something where he just has the crummiest luck.
Dude, memes were hot for a minute.
They were, and
they still are. They're just evolving into crazy.
What was the one with that guy who's like a D-bag? What was that guy's name?
Scumbag Steve.
Scumbag Steve. Yeah, dude, I love that one. He's like,
if you
borrows your sweater, like never gives it back.
I like doing that. Like, what do they say? It's like some Scumbag Steve, and they're just using 2 S's, like bitchy Brian or like
good luck Greg.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, a lot of, I like that, or like the really mean Asian dad, you know, or like super strict Asian parent.
You got 98%, why not 100%?
Yeah, why not 100%? I remember.
You got an A, why not A+?
That's how those parents are, man. You know, man. Those kids, they go to school until they're like 50, and then it's like
my
Monday
dad was
through
like,
Sunday.
D-, why not just D?
Yeah, why not just D? Why not you just get D+?
You're grounded for the summer.
Yeah, we're lucky our dad wasn't Asian, dude. He'd be like, go to your room. Go.
Tommy, you're so bad in school. You grounded forever. You're not getting married ever.
Do the dishes
for 14 more years.
You cannot get married. You have to do the dishes
every night forever.
Tommy-san, Like Daniel-san from...
It's so Japanese. Oh. No. It's so drug out.
I know. Why do they do that, man?
And Vietnamese like, no.
Well, I don't know what it is. I think maybe they're like trying to think of like the next English word. So when they're speaking our language, they're like dragging it out, trying to think of what to say. So it's no, you very bad, man.
They just have limited English words in their vocabulary. No, bad.
You
boy.
smell. You want to smell my butthole.
You're stinky, boy.
You smell my finger. You smell my finger.
Sorry, guys.
I remember when I was in Vegas with Josh. No, it was Joseph and Johnny Dewar for John's birthday. And there was a couple Asian guys at the table, and there was this one just skinny Asian guy, but he was super just high on himself. You know, and he was all about, I'm winning all the game, I'm winning all the money. And I remember him just looking at one of his friends, you know, it's also Asian, and he was just kind of low on his chips, his buddy. And I remember him just looking at me like, you are very poor. You're running out of chips. You're very poor. And then
he probably had 6 million in chips or something.
But I remember the way he said it, like it was just like so poetic. Like it just hit when he said poor. You know, it had like an echo to it. Yeah.
P.O.
Yeah, it echoed even.
You know?
There was a little reverb on it that he put on there. He's like, you're very poor. And then for like the next day, like we were all saying that to each other. You're so poor. You cannot afford to pay attention. You are so poor. You cannot afford a free TV. Something like that. I don't know. But that poor Asian guy, I wonder what he's doing right now. He's probably running like some underground like chicken fights or something like that. Yeah, underground rooster fights or something like that.
Oh, you like to go cockfight?
You are the kingpin. You are very poor.
Oh.
You have run out of money. I don't even go to like casinos much like I used to.
Dude, I'm thinking about going to Vegas next weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
Who are you going with? Ivy?
Yeah, then the promotions company we work with is doing an all-girls trip. So typically there's like 40 or 50 chicks and maybe like 5 or 10 guys. Mm-hmm. So let me know if you want to go.
Dude, are you guys gonna just hit the clubs? Are you still working for the club company or?
Yeah, I still work with them, but I'm not out there in front of the club every night.
So you're just gonna go have fun.
Go and have fun.
That's cool. This is like the biggest sin to eat while you're podcasting.
I know, guys. Sorry, we're eating Airheads Extreme Bites. They're disgusting.
Yeah, and it follows up the lunch that we had today very well, which was...
Yeah, I feel like a complete fat ass today. We had hot wings.
Yeah, but...
Pizza.
And the worst part of it all is that when we called in to order it, they told us that they didn't have the bone-in wings, and everyone knows that's where all the flavor is.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, okay, boneless wings, it's going to be in the shape maybe of like a bone-in wing, but if it's boneless. But like they just straight up, it's just a ball.
Yeah.
Like it just looks like a little super ball of meat.
Ball of meat.
And then the outside is like, it's not even like a crunch to it. It's like a soggy kind of, it's like a soggy kind of a shell.
Yeah.
That I don't know what they're doing to get that meat ready, but the hot sauce on it kind of saves it.
My wife just walked in. Hi, baby.
Hi, Ivy.
Hi.
And thankfully, we got a pizza for it to go with.
She's so good looking. Hello. Come say hi, Ivy. Come say hi.
Say hello.
Hi. Hello.
Oh, all right.
That's it.
So Ivy just came in about 20 minutes ago, and this is just like the true signs of you're getting older and your energy levels are always just kind of throwing off, or your focus is just thrown off. So she comes in, we all say hi, I stand up, we take a quick break, and I lay down on the couch and I'm already falling asleep like 5 minutes later. And I don't know if it's just you're following up a big meal. I don't know if it's just like that's just me being a fat ass.
Yeah.
You know, or if it's just like, oh yeah, you're just getting older and me falling asleep and you're over here pouring me like a coffee saying, come on, that's just, you know, if you stop, you got to keep going. And then that's always what we do. You have this cold brew coffee, which is actually kind of helping. It tastes good, man. Like you get this stuff at Ralph's for like $6, which if my first reaction is like, you're paying $6, but then again, I'm gonna go to like a Starbucks and get like an iced coffee for $4.
It's a ripoff.
So 1.5 of those, I guess, is the same price of one of these. But then you're so like,
or if you got like a large one, it's like $5 or $6 for the whole thing. You know, the whatever way you want it. and you go to Ralph's and get a freaking, I don't know how many ounces it is, but it's a good.
It looks like a gallon or
like
half
gallon, and that's probably like 3 or 4 of those big ones.
Yeah, and it's actually better too. And I don't mind because a lot of people, I don't know if it's half and half. Maybe people go to Starbucks for a hot coffee but this is like a cold brew, which I like.
I love it. I love cold brew.
Rain or shine, dude. I'll get a iced coffee at rain or shine, and
Same.
I don't even care, dude. Like what the weather's like. It's just like that's how
it
tastes better
too
like
hot
that,
coffee,
you know.
Yeah.
But it's good sweet too, like because I actually like the coffee
sweet.
sweet. You know, rather than just like some bitter like black drink, you know, just like just throw some milk and sugar in there if you got it. You know, you're still getting all the coffee and everything. You're just making it taste
just
good.
half-ass coffee.
Yeah, you're like if you can make it taste good, why wouldn't you? You know, even at work, it's like I don't care, man. I'll throw down on some milk and sugar in there, and freaking I drink so much coffee during the days. It's just ridiculous, but it does help, you know, and you need it, you know, especially in the morning to just kick off and everything like that. You need it.
It's better than drinking like a Red Bull or like a Monster or something. Which
those never do anything for me.
Really?
The Red Bulls, the
Red Bulls
Monster,
really
the
don't hit me
Lost.
hard.
I think we just like the way that they tasted. Like they never gave me like the same
It's like
energy.
sugary taste.
It would never.
Dude, I don't know, man. Monster and Rockstar, for a while, I was like really addicted, especially when I was working like in the server industry, like in like the so I would always get like a Monster before work, and I'd drink half of it, and then put the rest of it in the fridge, and then like halfway through my shift, just chug the rest of it. Serve tables.
There was one energy drink. I think it was like a fruit punch, like Rockstar. I think it was.
Oh yeah.
Years ago, and I remember we would drink those before we went into like a show, and then for some reason it would like I would get all amped up. But then again, I'm thinking
it's
about
all sugar.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, was it that or was it the fact that I was going into a rock show? And I was just already excited.
Endorphins and stuff.
Yeah, you're excited anyway, but then you just, you know, you put 2 and 2 together, like you connect that with the rock show or is it the energy drink? I don't know. There's probably some Bill Nye, the science guy, like experiment behind all that. But yeah, I don't remember the last time I've actually bought an energy drink. You know, if a bar for coffee, you know. But the last time I actually bought an energy drink like Rockstar or Monster or anything like that, it's probably been 5 years.
Dude, I used to be, when I worked for the promotions company, we were sponsored by Rockstar. So remember, and I would get cases of it, of the little tiny cans.
I feel like that was at a lot of events. Like those, when energy drinks first came out, they were such a big deal that I feel like any special event or, there's a car show, or, we're having a little meet and greet, or, you know, hey, guess what? The mayor is gonna have a speech or whatever. There'd always be like that rock star guy with his aced out truck. Yeah, he's got his little slick back hair, you know, and his wafers on. He's like, hey, I got a little case for your rock star.
Yeah, here you go, man.
Get it back on the tap.
24 cans.
Yeah, get it right here. 24 cans. You know, you look at it, that's like $100, you know, back in the day.
Yeah.
But
those are the best.
Yeah, those guys, there would always be one of those like those little jokers out there, dude, in the corner.
I remember we'd always get that fruit punch Rockstar that you're talking about.
It was good.
My favorite was always the blue one. It tastes like blueberry.
Mm-hmm.
I used to drink that shit. I remember that brings me back to a certain time when I worked at Buca di Beppo, and I drove a piece of shit car, and I would always go to the same liquor store and get one of those bad boys. And it was super freaking cold, and I'll drink half of it, and I'll listen to Lil Wayne Get Money on the way up to work. Like, get money! Feeling like a boss, dude. And then get to work like, oh, okay, gotta work now.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the earliest liquor store memories that I have, you know, were just these journeys of a fat kid, you know, going up down there for, you know, Reese's peanut butter cups.
$2 to spend.
Yeah, before when Reese's peanut butter cups were when there was
Life.
back when they were four in a pack and it was $1. I think now it's like I've even seen where they put 3 in a pack. You know, especially when those kids go door to door like selling stuff. It's like, hey, here's 3 Reese's peanut butter.
Do you remember when we used to go
to
the 99-cent store before I go to movie or something?
Yeah, you get 10
like,
peanut butter cups. You get like 1.5 now, but you get 10 peanut butter cups for 99 cents. We used to go there for
big ass.
That's the only reason we'd go there was to buy candy. You know, just big stacks of candy and. You know, Baby Ruths or Butterfingers.
You go to the movies, you're gonna spend $10 and get like a pop, not even a popcorn and a soda. Like this candy's like $6.
Yeah,
but you go to the 99-cent store, you get $10 from your mom, and like you're getting 10 solid, multiple pieces of candy.
Yeah, and they're following them the the Gen Xers or the millennials they know that we like going to movies, so they're following us in the sales. Like you can see, like now they like a lot of these guys are offering beers on tap, like that if you want to go to a movie, and then you go inside. And I've been to some other ones like the one in Fullerton.
The one over here serving beer.
And the AMC's do that now. So but then it's not just the menu now. It's like the full on. The seat is like not Bugle Boy. What is it called?
Lazy boy.
Bugle Boy. Wait, what is Bugle Boy?
It's like a clothing brand.
Yeah, that's like a '90s clothing brand. The little guy in the front who's like in the middle of like a jogging session, and he's got a little flat top. Yeah, Bugle Boy.
Damn, throwback.
Yeah, Bugle Boy, man. Or Lazy Boy was
Lazy Boy.
Yeah. So they're known for making like super comfortable chairs and seats and everything like that. So that's what these things are like. It's like a full on. It's like a full-on just Lazy Boy, and you're sitting there, and you can recline all the way back. It's like heated and everything like that. And then
heated?
Yeah, it was.
No way.
It was wild, man. It was like the one.
Did it give you?
It was in Santa Monica. It was an AMC in Santa Monica. So the one. That's where I went a while ago, and that was for a different movie. But the one I saw over the weekend, they didn't have like heated seats or anything like that. It was
That's
just
legit.
It was just
how much was it a ticket?
It was $13.
It was $600.
$14, yeah, something like that.
Okay.
And then they take a blood sample at the very end, like yeah, arm and a leg basically, but. Yeah, I remember back in the day. That's what the question was like, do the popcorn? Do we get free refills? Because we'd eat the whole bucket of popcorn before the movie even started.
Yeah.
Especially when we would go to the movies when we were with our whole family.
Yeah.
And Dad, he'd get like the
super
value pop.
packer.
Yeah, the value popcorn. It's like
it comes with this.
You got like six Eynon hands all shooting into the same bucket of popcorn.
Because it has like $1 money back.
Yeah, you get a coupon at Ralph's or something like that. You get like a free copy of Finding
$2
Nemo
off to an Angels game.
Oh. $5 off your next oil change or something like that.
I'm stupid. 50 cents off Krispy Kreme donuts.
I went to a Krispy Kreme the other day.
Did you?
Yeah, and as a matter of fact,
it's been a minute.
Yeah, so like every Friday at my work, somebody brings in like a sugary snack in the morning or something like that. So I signed up for the last Friday, and I go to Krispy Kreme donuts, and I bring them in. And we have this one lady, her name's Sergi, and she comes out.
Her name is Sergi?
Yeah.
Short for Sergio or what?
Sergina.
Oh, God.
Or Sergina. Yeah, and so she comes over, and she goes, it's like, she's like eating a Krispy Kreme donut. She's got like a maple bar, and she's like saying it, she's like coming up to me and asking me like this was like kind of like a secret. And she goes, Mitch, where did you get these donuts at? I said, they're Krispy Kremes, Sergina. She goes, is a Krispy Kreme donut? I'm like, yeah, you've never had a Krispy Kreme? She goes, no, let me write this down. And so she gets it. She writes Krispy Kreme on like a little piece of paper, and she's writing it with C's. So it's CRISP Kreme, CREAM. But I was like, no, Krispy Kreme is it's with K's. She goes, Krispy Kreme with K. Okay. She goes, these donuts are really good. These are very different. I don't like donuts.
Were they hot?
These are. She goes, I don't.
They're hot. I can eat like.
Yeah, they were fresh, dude. They were fresh, man. And she's like, these donuts are very good. She goes, but I've never had. She goes, I don't like donuts, but I like these donuts. And I'm like, yeah. Well, nobody. I was like, nobody really likes some like crusty like around the corner.
Nobody hates
donut shop. Like some like nasty like
remember
pink frosting in the middle of your maple bar.
Brand new.
Well, yeah. It was good. They popped up all over the place. They overpopulated.
We were little, though. We were like, what? Pretty young.
Yeah, like, I think I was maybe 8 or 9.
Yeah, I was like 10 or 12. But I remember going through, like, it was like a big deal. Because, like, typically in a donut shop, you don't see them make the donuts. Like, they're in the back room. This place is all glass. So, like, if you pulled in, you could see them pumping them out on the little...
Yeah.
Coming down.
When Krispy Kreme
and that little
opened...
freaking... frosting is just like, just like barfing all over the donuts that are on that little
that
tray
was an
going
event,
by.
man.
God damn, that was amazing.
It was an event when Krispy Kreme opened up.
And they're just giving free donuts as samples.
It was,
what do you want,
yeah,
a sample?
yeah.
Well, I'm full now.
Yeah,
Thanks.
and it wasn't even just the donuts. And like you were saying, it was the entire
process.
game plan.
The whole process.
The way they had it, like I remember from the second you pull up, you're looking at the front light.
You're looking all the way in.
There's these huge windows so you can see in. It's like, it felt like you were in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. And you go in, and they're famous for their just classic glazed donut, and that's really what you're seeing being made in front of you. Like all their machinery is like, okay. But as soon as you pull up, the first thing you look at says there's always a sign at Krispy Kreme's that says hot donuts now. And if one of those things, if that's lit up, you're supposed to be able to walk in there and get a free donut. And when we were kids, I remember we'd always go in there and they'd hand you the free donut.
I didn't know
Here's
that.
your free donut. Yeah. Well, I knew that growing up. And I remember always as a kid getting that free donut. And so I went into the Krispy Kreme, the time before I went to the one for work, and I pulled up and they had the hot donuts now sign on it. I'm like, all right, I'm going to get a free donut. And I'm already going in there to buy a dozen donuts. And I'm just excited about the free one that I'm going to get.
I'm going to get my 11th for free.
Yeah, so I go in there and all these kids, all these other kids are coming in behind me. And, of course, they all run ahead of me and jump in line. And they're all jumping up and down. Little girls, they're all squirrely. They're going to get a free donut. And then, so the guy,
Sorry, sir.
He's sitting next to the machine, and, these things are just coming, like, fresh off the press, and you're watching this, like, all these, like, mechanical parts moving, and then
the best part was
you see the glaze pump.
See that glaze pump.
It's a waterfall. Yeah,
It
so
is.
as the conveyor belt's moving.
My mouth underneath it.
Yeah, it's a bloop, bloop. As the conveyor belt of the regular donuts are moving, it goes under a waterfall of glaze. And if you've never been into a Krispy Kreme to see this process, you should just get your ass down there right now and see it. But...
Yeah.
So this time in particular, though, I go there, the light's on. I think I'm gonna get a free donut, and sure enough, the kids are all in front of me, and the older lady, she's like picking them right off the grill, So as they're coming out and down, and she's like giving them to the kids. Here you go, here you go, here you go. She looks at me and she just looks at me and kind of just like one of those smile winks, like from a white person to a white person, just like, yeah, hello. And I was like, oh, give me my free donut, And I was like, and I was kind of gesturing like, like, give me my free donut now. And she goes, how can I help you? And I was like, oh, man. So I didn't get a free donut. I was like, well.
I would have been like,
and I'm just
can
like,
I taste that
I just
one?
wish I could see, like, the contrast between, like, look at myself in the mirror. It's like you get all these little young kids and you're getting all the free donuts. And you look up and I'm like 20 years their senior, just with a beard and just like drooping cheeks. And it's like, yeah, you can pay for your donuts. Like, they can't afford it.
Piece of shit.
I'm just thinking, like, what fat sloth I must look like compared to these youngsters, And so they're just like, what do you want? You have to pay for it. You don't need these donuts. You're not going to burn them off.
Get
so
extra napkins.
yeah, so there I am in line between, like, two other bald fat guys, like saying, like, we're just part of the system now. Just the guy in front of you, yeah, give me 3 of those.
Just shoveling you in.
Give me 3 of the maple bars and all the chocolate monster, and give me the super Valentine. And of course they had, like, the football shaped one now, and they've only innovated so much where it's like, it's in the shape of a Christmas tree. Or
Some
it's
of
like,
those spots now, they don't even make them in there anymore. They just ship them to the donut store.
The what?
So, like, the one that she works by, or my wife works at, by a Krispy Kreme, but they don't make them there fresh anymore. I don't know if it's such a production thing, but they just ship them from another store to that donut shop, but they have all the production shit there.
Yeah.
So I don't
The
know.
old conveyor
I don't think
belts?
I don't think they're making enough to make all that stuff work.
To fire the machine
To
up.
fire it all up, and I don't think it's worth it if they're only going to sell 50 donuts or 100 donuts that day instead of, like, dude, people are lining up for days.
Yeah, well, and the funny thing about the machines that they had in Krispy Kremes was, I mean, if that thing broke down, and that's where your source of donuts is coming from, then everyone's going to be, like, looking at each other, with their thumb up their butt. But there were parts of those machines that looked like as the donut was going through the process, because it wasn't just the glazed waterfall, it was actually the raw dough hitting the grease and you see it bubbling. But there were parts of that process where it just felt unnecessary. Like, it would go, like, spin the donut in a circle and, like, throw it up in the air and catch it in, and you're like, what? Did it really need to go through that part of the process?
Goes by some kids that giggle at it.
Yeah, it's just like, it just did the weird thing. But the only other time you kind of see that is it's usually with pastries. Like, I know that Cinnabon does that, where they'll kind of still roll out the dough in front of you.
Oh, yeah,
they'll put the cinnamon and everything like that. And that was kind of always a good show when you're a kid. But I don't even know if we necessarily would want to see what is actually going on. Like, Krispy Kreme's, it's simple enough. Like, look, we'll put it right out in there in front of you.
Donut, yeah.
You go to, like, but think about, like, what Burger King is, or you get, like, some guy with, like, a bad fingernail or something like that, like putting your lettuce on, or just some college
Why is that guy not
dropout.
wearing gloves?
Yeah, some college dropout. Yeah, who's got like a blister or like something nasty, and he's
Just
like
zit popping on his
he's
face.
like, you
dude.
want the 4 for $4, Yeah, just they keep him in the back, man, and they put their best up at the front, which is like, ugh. But
Which is still pretty hideous.
Yeah, which is still like, yeah. But you go any of those fast food places, you look in the very back, and you look at like who's actually making the food. Like you could see it, like there's an order of operations.
Just some
There's
grease
a pecking
ball
order.
back there, just like.
Yeah, you can't actually see the entire person. You just see like their really like dirty elbow kind of sticking out of the corner of in the back.
Brown shirt.
Yeah, with some old crusty apron on. And you're just like, oh man, I don't even want to look at the food when it's there. You just kind of
He's just sweating. Just
you kind of close
wiping
your eyes.
his sweat and just throwing it back at the grill.
Yeah. It's like the guys like In and Out. Yeah, they hire all these young cats, to work there, but they push them into such a tiny block.
I worked in In-N-Out.
Where they cook it, where they're cooking everything. It's like such a tiny little space. Right, you worked at In-N-Out.
Yeah.
So you did the fries,
I did everything.
Except for burger flipping, right?
Except for burger flipping.
And why is that? How come that's like...
You have to be a manager.
Why is that? Why is that such a coveted...
I have no idea. It's an easy job, but you also have 4 grills going at the same time, or more, and then they're all just timed out. And yeah, man, it's just something that the managers do, but the managers make like $100,000 a year.
Yeah, that's
Working
awesome.
there.
The one thing I regret was there was 2 things I always wanted to do as far as work, and I always wished I had worked in a fast food chain at least once, and then in like something kind of like a clothing store or something like that at least one time, because those are 2 like kind of retail jobs that everyone kind of did at some point, whereas a lot of the jobs that I worked were law enforcement related or kind of like a business job or something like that. And I always wished I had done something like that, just because I felt like those were where some of the funniest stories come from. Like I remember we talked to Eddie, and like he worked at Wiener Schnitzel, and he used to tell us like about what they would put in the chili, which we can't even say, but just some of the funniest stuff would come out of those places. Whereas like some of the environments I would work in were maybe like kind of dull compared to that.
Yeah, I think if I ever had kids, or when I have kids, I want them to do at least 1 year doing customer service and 1 year serving in like a restaurant, because then you really learn how to deal with people and not to be just a straight prick, like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's good stuff, huh?
Yeah. Pour another glass.
Drinking some stock
Brewed
coffee,
low, low and slow.
It's awesome stuff.
It's helping, man. I'm waking back up.
Good.
This one doesn't really have a creamer in it. It is kind of just a cold
The other
black.
one was made with like almond milk.
Yeah, cold black sweet. That's real good.
This one's just just nice and bold and
Straight
smooth.
out of
And
that bottle.
it's just it's like how I like my women, dark.
Preferably fair trade.
Right.
10-hour
brew.
Yeah,
Just for you.
and you look at a lot of the fast food places too, and a lot of them are actually selling like cold coffees or iced coffees now, where 10 years ago they wouldn't have had something like that.
Cold pressed or cold, just brew coffee.
Because when I think about coffee, I think about Burger King.
Burger King?
No.
Oh.
They just sell it. They sell like coffee. Same with like McDonald's has like
Yeah,
iced
just
coffee.
their shit coffee.
I remember when McDonald's first came out with their iced coffee, and they just didn't know how much we wanted,
Mm-hmm.
And so their coffee came in the same extra large, it came in the same extra large soda cup as it was like the same size, except it was clear. It was just huge iced coffee, and it's like, this is way too much coffee, McDonald's. Like, bring it down to like the size of a grande at Starbucks.
Yeah.
And so
I remember those cups, dude.
Yeah, huge. And so I go to McDonald's, and of course I buy that. And I remember when that came out, I was probably 19, and I was driving my Mazda MX-3 through the drive-thru. It was like this cheap old like little sports car. It was a '94, and it looked like it was like a '99. And just something about it just looked kind of futuristic. But I remember getting the coffee, and in my steering wheel had all these like kind of cutouts in the steering wheel. And so I came to a red light with my coffee, and I was going to turn left right there. And so I had the entire coffee thing, and I actually kind of just slid it into the slot of the steering wheel, in the steering wheel, because as the cup, the higher up on the cup, how the wider it becomes. So that's why it kind of just like, it just
slid in.
It just slid right in, but then it stayed in there. So now it's time to turn left. And I'm trying to like hurry up and pull a cup of coffee out of there, because I got to turn the steering wheel left. And so this thing, it got stuck or something. And I remember I was trying to hurry up and go. So I was like, I started turning as I was still pulling on it, and it it kind of got lodged in there. So I squeezed the cup, trying to pull it out, and I squeezed it too hard to where it just cracked it just cracked the plastic cup. And now I'm turning it all the way left. So now it's just dumping all over my lap.
Oh my God.
Because it went from the bottom to the steering wheel being turned 180. No, dude, it was a stick shift. So like that whole area, the car was just so compact that there was the stick shift right there on the right. So I'm like trying to turn left, pull a cup out, with just two arms. I'm trying to do way too much. I'm trying to handle like the auxiliary iPod, and doing all these things at once. I'm like,
bop it, twist it, turn
dumped all over my lap, dude. It was like the thing was full all the way, and so I had like all this McDonald's coffee just all over my lap. Somebody was in the car just laughing at me, dude. Just hysterically. Yeah, I was like, I'm hating it. Sucks. Yeah, dude, that sucks. And I think that everyone's dropped their. I think everyone's at some point dropped like something they just bought, like a drink or something like that, or they go get a coffee and they leave it on the roof of their car and they just drive off like, fuck, my food or my drink or something like that. I've done that a few times. But that McDonald's one was by far the worst one because not only did I lose it, but it was like all over myself.
Yeah.
When's the last, like, you worked in the fast food industry, but you also worked in restaurants, so you probably spilled food all over people too.
All right, so I remember this one time that I was working at the Olive Garden, and I was serving this large family of like 7 to 10 people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Great people. Dropped off menus, went back, took some drink orders. Like, we'll take some water. You want water? I'll take a water. I'll take a water with lemon. I'll take that water with lemon extra salt. So I got like 10 waters on this little tray, right?
Yeah.
This little circular tray. And I go to drop it off to the table. And I drop one, drop two, and then I take one off the tray, and it imbalances the actual tray and flips over and hits the table and drops like 4 or 5 waters onto the table, spilling everywhere all over these people. It was so funny, dude. And they were just like, oh shit, there's water everywhere. It's going on my dress. Oh, that was so funny. It was so embarrassing, but I was just like, I'm so sorry. It was like my first 2 weeks like in this place, like forgive me. And then they ended up getting their whole meal comped and everything, but I was so embarrassed, but so funny.
All right. Smile for the camera.
Absolutely.
We got to get some photographs up. We got to get our social media up, and that'll be the reason why I do join social media, is to start promoting this.
100%, man. We love doing this shit. It's the best. We can actually be ourselves, and I'm pretty sure you guys could appreciate it too. So Mitch?
Hey, sorry for the short podcast, but what are you, the radio police? We can't have a short podcast?
What's going on here?
Hey, we'll do whatever we want.
Hey, who do you think you're running here?
Hey, stay tuned.
Hey, can you see him walking here?
Tony Salami.
Hey,
I'm recording.
What do you want, a meatball sandwich?
Just like Daddy used to make it home,
Yeah.
Yeah, when Mama used to make it, those meatballs, the little
meatballs.
meatballs with the sauce on top.
The sauce
I
on top
like
is
that
the
one.
best.
All right, listen, we're leaving now.
Right now?
We cannot stay anymore.
No, we
We're
can't.
very
We
sorry.
really can't. It'd be too much time to completely stay for the whole time.
We cannot do this. We must run the store at night.
I'm telling you, there's some things that I need to do tonight. Like, I don't know, go to sleep.
I know. We cannot do that. We cannot record. We had a very explosive night, but we must carry on, and we must end the podcast.
But make sure that you guys do not eat any of those eggs that my brother had said the egg.
Thank
the
you very
double
much.
eggs.
The pickled egg.
Those pickled eggs is got 13 stops to the bathroom before you get to work.
The pickled eggs are very explosive. They're very
Explosively
explosive.
great.
They are a bathroom clogger. But, it's called for a celebration.
Hashtag colon cleanser.
Oh, very good. All right. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Motherfucker.
Got to Uber. It's the end of the podcast. Love you. Goodbye. Goodbye. Whoa. Goodbye. 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 Goodbye.
Jesus!
Woot! Woot, woot, woot!